We are taking a deep dive into Bout's deadly past and how he became one of the world's deadliest arms dealers and what he may do next. But joining us now is National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby. Mr. Kirby, thank you so much for being with us. What can you tell us about Griner's condition and what her transition back into regular life might look like?
Well, she's generally in good spirits. Obviously, a happy day for her and for her wife, Sherelle. Our general understanding is that she's in good health, but I want to caveat that by making sure that we make clear her first stop when she gets back to the United States is to a healthcare facility so that we can make sure, for her sake and for her family's sake, that she's doing okay from a health and well-being perspective, and we'll do that here shortly. But obviously, a great day for the Griner family.
You said the goal was always to bring both Brittney Griner and Paul Whelan home. Why wasn't that possible this time?
We would have loved nothing more than to get Mr. Whelan home today as well. And we know they're disappointed. He's disappointed. We're disappointed that we weren't able to make that work. We offered many different proposals and options and alternatives to the Russians. Regrettably, this was the deal we could get, and now was the moment we could get it. And you heard the president talk about it earlier today, saying that this wasn't a choice between the two of them. We could only get one home, and that one was Brittney. That was as far as the Russians were willing to go, was Bout for Brittney. Now, we're still working. We were doing it yesterday, we're doing it today, we'll do it tomorrow to get Paul Whelan home. We're going to keep those conversations going with the Russians.
Absolutely. And we certainly hear that. We know this is wonderful news for Brittney Griner, for her family, for all of her supporters. But, there are a lot of critics who are saying both of them should have been freed this time. How do you respond?
The same way I just did, that we would have liked that too, and that was what we were working for. But the bottom line was that the Russians were only willing to deal Bout for Griner. And they were treating Mr. Whelan separately. They put him in a different category because of the sham espionage charges that were levied against him, which are different than the charges, the drug charges that were levied against Brittney. So in their minds, in their system, they're treating Mr. Whelan very much as a different category. And so we're gonna have to deal inside that reality and work through the negotiation process going forward, understanding that in his case, there's going to be some special considerations.
Paul's family released a statement that read in part, quote, "I can't imagine he retains any hope that a government will negotiate his freedom at this point. Paul will remain a prisoner until that changes." So, Mr. Kirby, we heard your response to critics, but what is your message to Paul Whelan and to his family?
A couple of things I'd like to say, if you just give me a minute. First of all, I just have to comment on the incredible grit and bravery, grace, and poise of the entire Whelan family. Obviously, Paul himself, but you can see it in that statement from his brother. We know that we're in touch with other members of the family, and they really are just handling this with incredible grace and dignity, and that's commendable. And our message to them is, we are not forgetting you. We're not forgetting Paul. The president said that today. We are going to work every single day going forward to get him home. He's been gone 4 years. That's 4 years too long. He doesn't need to be in prison for any charge whatsoever. He needs to be home with the rest of his family, and we're going to work to that end.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.